elites planning for us? Those of us that are part of the working class, which is the majority of us here in this country. What do they have up their sleeve? I've been sounding the alarm about the concerns that I've had when it comes to artificial intelligence. And while, some people told me, oh, we ain't got to worry about that for a long time, we are already starting to see the impacts of AI and how it affects the workforce. Elon Musk let the cat out of the bag over the weekend on Joe Rogan's podcast. Elon Musk is letting you know what his buddy bros in Silicon Valley and the tech bubble peeps are working on. And one of those people in particular that I feel is not mentioned in this particular topic, but is more so mentioned with the Israel topic, is Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is what I consider to be a double threat. Bill Ackman is a double threat, not just because he's a rabid Zionist that has all this love for Israel and is willing to have the power to get a president at Harvard University to resign from their role because his daughter goes there and he didn't like the protest against Israel. He's a double threat because he has that type of power when it comes to Israel, but also the power that he has in the AI world. I want to show you what Elon Musk said on Joe Rogan's podcast. There are two clips. This is the first one we want to dive into.
The phone will really be an edge node for AI inference, for AI video inference, with some radios to obviously connect to. But essentially you'll have AI on the server side communicating to an AI on your device, formerly known as a phone, and generating real-time video of anything that you could possibly want. And I think that there won't be operating systems, there won't be apps in the future. There won't be operating systems or apps. It'll just be, you've got a device that is there for the screen and audio and for and to put as much AI on the device as possible, so as to minimize the amount of bandwidth that's needed between your edge node device, formerly known as a phone, and the servers.
So Elon Musk is saying that this is apparently I will give you the time, let him give the timeline. Elon Musk is saying that going forward at some point, we are not going to have apps. There's no longer going to be any apps. You will have a screen, and with that screen, there is going to be AI. So if you want to see something, you can just ask to see it, like, show me this movie or show me Chicago, and you'll just see that. But he is saying that apps will no longer be a thing. Now, some of you may feel like, okay, what's the big deal? Those are people's jobs. And I'm not just talking about those of us that are streamers. I'm talking about anyone that works for one of these app companies that you see on your phone. Rather, it's something like, we think of streaming, but like Twitch, YouTube, like, give me another app that's on the phone, like the fitness apps or whatever, like those types of things. Well, people have jobs. People work on those apps. That's how they exist. So if those apps are gone, then that means that those people are going to lose their jobs. Let him continue on.
So if there's no apps, what will people use? Like, will X still exist? Will they be email platforms, or will you get everything through AI?
You'll get everything through AI.
Everything through AI. What will be the benefit of that, as opposed to having individual apps?
Whatever you can think of, or really whatever the AI can anticipate you might want, it'll show you. That's my prediction for where things end up.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
I don't know. It's probably 5 or 6 years, something like that.
5 to 6 years. 5 to 6 years. So Rogan did ask him, will X, formerly Twitter, still exist? We're like, no, like no X, no email, no none of that. Just anything that you want to see, You will just ask AI on your device and you will just see that. What that means is that all those people that work at X, Google, I mean, there's many, Facebook, Salesforce. I'm just thinking of all of them, Salesforce, etc. That means those people won't have jobs. Hold on to that. That's important. The job part.
So 5 or 6 years, apps are like Blockbuster Video,
Pretty much.
and everything's run through AI.
Yeah, and there'll be most of what people consume in 5 or 6 years, maybe sooner than that, will be just AI generated content. So music, videos.
Yeah. And he went on more there. You can watch the full interview on Joe Rogan's podcast. So we ask again, who's driving the bus? The billionaires, the elites. They are driving the bus. Now, if there are no apps, there's no email, and there's just a device and a screen that tells you what you want to see, who determines what information AI is going to show you? Do you think that's something that we would choose? No, we don't have that type of power. So if I ask my phone to tell me about Israel and Gaza, what do you think AI is going to tell me? It is a way to, and Baby Ethernet called it already, suppress information. That's one of the issues, but not the only one. Here's the other part, again, that concerns the working class. Listen to this.
But yeah, like cars are going to be autonomous. But there's just so many desk jobs where really what people are doing is they're processing email, or they're answering the phone, and just anything that isn't moving atoms, like anything that is not physically, like doing physical work, that will obviously be the first thing. Those jobs will be and are being eliminated by AI at a very rapid pace. And ultimately, working will be optional, because you'll have robots plus AI, and we'll have, in a benign scenario, universal high income, not just universal basic income, universal high income, meaning anyone can have any products or services that they want.
So
but there will be a lot of trauma and disruption along the way.
So what Elon Musk is warning you about, I don't know what I did here. Here we go. What Elon Musk is warning you is that going forward at some point, because of the increase of AI, everyone is not going to have a job. There aren't going to be jobs available for everybody. That's why he says working will be optional. Now, to add to that point, if everyone is not working, then everyone is not getting paid. And if everyone is not getting paid, then that means that more people are going to have to rely on the government for financial support. You see, this is why we can't continue to blame our neighbors. This is why we can't blame other working class people. And by the way, yeah, both parties want you to do that. Both parties want you to blame the other side. But at the end of the day, this is about the people at the top and everybody else that's at the bottom. We're not driving this bus. We're just passengers on this bus. This bus is being driven by wealthy elites, the billionaire class. They're making these decisions. We didn't make these decisions. We have no say-so in the matter. They are planning our lives for us. They're planning our future. Now, if that means that there aren't jobs for everyone, and that means that obviously more people would have to rely on government assistance, we need to take the stigma away from those who are on government assistance now. And to Elon's point, that would also mean that we would have to have a universal basic income. Andrew Yang called it in 2020 when he was running for office in the Democratic Party primary. He warned people of what his friends in Silicon Valley were working on. The plan that they have for us is to minimize our involvement as much as possible. Workers have been making noises. People say they want to unionize. They say, give me benefits. And so the big boss, the elites, they find a way to crush us by, you know what, we don't really want to give you benefits. We'll just replace those jobs with AI because we don't have to give AI health insurance. We don't have to give AI dental insurance. Hell, AI doesn't need to take vacation. And this means something else, which some people may not want to hear. That would also mean that we would have to have universal basic health care. Because if everyone is not working because there's no jobs for you, how are you going to have health care? In this country, health care is attached to your job. Let's continue on a little bit more and we'll get to Bill Ackman and his role in all of this.
So you anticipate a basic income from that the economy will boost to such an extent that a high income would be available to almost everybody. So we'd essentially eliminate poverty.
In the benign scenario, yes. So like the way
there's multiple scenarios.
There are multiple scenarios. There's a lot of ways this movie can end. Like the reason I'm so concerned about AI safety is that like one of the possibilities is the Terminator scenario. It's not 0%. So that's why it's like I'm like really banging the drum on AI needs to be maximally truth seeking. Like don't force AI to believe a lie like that. For example, the founding fathers were actually a group of diverse women, or that misgendering is worse than nuclear war. Because if that's the case, and then you get the robots and the AI becomes omnipotent, it can enforce that outcome.
See,
and then like unless you're a diverse woman, you're out of the picture. So we're toast.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we are not the ones that are making these decisions. The billionaire class are the ones that are driving the bus. And Elon Musk, he ain't no different either. He's a billionaire too. So depopulation will become a thing. Because the more, like, just think about this for a second. If we have to depend on that universal basic income, well, then the more people that we have in this country, that's more money that has to be paid out just for people to have food and a roof over their head. This also would lead to the fact why I've been telling you before, they don't really want you to own as much. They don't care that young people can't afford to buy homes. They just want you to live in these tiny shoe boxes because they feel like you're not going to need it in the future anyway. They're doing what works out best for them and their bottom line. Where does this involve Bill Ackman? Bill Ackman, Zionist, known for advocating for Israel, not giving a damn about Palestinian people, and telling the president of Harvard University to step the fuck down. Bill Ackman is also invested in AI. Very much so. We have to show you this here, something that he mentioned a year ago about investing in AI.
Are you investing in things relating to artificial intelligence?
You know, the most direct investment we have in AI, I would say, is Google or Alphabet, which has
You're a big shareholder of Alphabet.
We're a small shareholder of Alphabet because it's a massive company. We've got a large investment, it's approaching $2 billion investment in the business, and actually it was AI that created the opportunity for us to buy Google at an attractive price. You know, basically Microsoft and OpenAI had a very powerful demonstration of and a launch of a new product, and then Google's kind of launch, or it was a bit of a disaster. Stock got crushed on the basis of fear that Google was way behind in AI, and their advertising franchise more than covered the value of the company, and you got whatever they were doing in AI, if you will, for free. And our view, based on work we had done, is that actually Google was sort of neck and neck, if not ahead of OpenAI in terms of their business progress.
So one of the pluses some people would say of being a successful investor is you do make a fair amount of money, and then you have the opportunity to be a philanthropist. So you were one of the early signers of the Giving Pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Are you invested?
So Bill Ackman is invested in AI. We're going to continue to connect the dots here because I'm going somewhere with this. All right. Check this out. Billionaire Bill Ackman may be the next Warren Buffett. He's buying 2 artificial intelligence stocks hand over fist. Let's dive into this here. Again, what do we say? A lot of these things have monetary value, right? So people like Bill Ackman, if there's no money attached, they're probably not trying to get into this, right? Bill Ackman has aggressively bought stock in Amazon and Uber this year. Ackman, during the first half of the year, purchased substantial positions in 2 AI stocks. He did not own either one before 2025, but they now account for 30% of his portfolio. Bill Ackman supports the way of AI. And AI can be used for different things. It can be used in a good way. It can be used in a bad way. What Elon was just talking about there, that's AI being used in a bad way, right? Like just basically pushing us out of the equation here and just letting AI take these jobs. Bill Ackman investing in AI stocks, he knows what's coming. He's friends with a lot of the tech bros like David Sachs. Like, remember they had that whole podcast called the All In podcast where they were all supporting RFK Jr. and they interviewed Donald Trump and they asked Trump, what are you going to do for the tech industry? And they're looking out for their bottom line. Now, let's connect this to the Israel part. Because at the end of the day, if what Elon is saying is true, and there will have to be a high universal income, then the less people you have, the better. So supporting this whole genocide against the Palestinian people, and there will be others that they support. There will be others along the way. You just never know when it's going to be your group. There will be others they support along the way around the world. And essentially what I believe is going to happen, I believe what they want is to have people that they consider to be highly skilled, people that they feel will be of use during that time, not people that won't be. Because again, they don't want to give out a high universal income to too many people. All of these wars that are happening all across the world, the more people they kill, the less people will have to be paid. You can also implement the pandemic as a part of this as well. The more disease, the less people you have to pay. This bus is being driven completely by the billionaire class. This is not a Republican thing. This is not a Democrat thing. We talk about both of those parties. Bill Ackman has donated to both. But Bill Ackman is one of those people that likes to tell you, I did all of this. He's against those universal programs. He's against any type of thing that, like, even like what Zohar Mandami is running on, he's against that. Oh no. He's going to stop increasing people's rent. That's going to be bad for me as an investor. How dare those people? How dare those people ask that you stop increasing their rent? But a little something about Bill Ackman. I'll show you where he came from. I think it's important that people see this. It's not that he pulled himself up by his damn bootstraps either. In fact, Bill Ackman came from a well-to-do family. Bill Ackman was born May 8th, 1966 to Larry and Ronnie Ackman. And I'll show you about his father in just a second. He grew up in an affluent hamlet of Westchester County. He went to Harvard, got a BA in history, graduated in 1988. He goes on to say that Bill said that he could not get a job when he graduated from Harvard. He majored in history, but he couldn't get a job when he graduated from Harvard. So he went to work for his dad for 2 years. Then he went to Harvard Business School. My dad wanted me to come back to him, and I went back for 1 week. Then I chose to go on my own. So these types of things are important. When you see people like Bill Ackman looking his nose down on the poors and the low income people and the working class and say, oh my God, they want to get something for free. They need to work for these things. What did Bill work for? Bill comes from a wealthy family. Bill went to go work for his dad after he graduated from Harvard. Other people who graduated and couldn't find a job, their dad probably didn't own a business that they could go work for. That's important to note. We will take a look at Bill's dad a little bit more here so you can see exactly what he did. This is Lawrence Ackman. Lawrence Ackman. Make this bigger for you. He was investing with his son, Bill Ackman, and other investors in commercial real estate nationwide, including multifamily apartment renovation, retail, hotels, and office properties. No wonder Bill Ackman doesn't want those New Yorkers to have affordable rent. Let's continue on here a little bit more. He graduated with an MBA in finance from Harvard Business School and a BA in economics from Brown University. So Bill Ackman was a legacy at Harvard University. We don't even know if Bill Ackman got into Harvard on his own merit or because his daddy went there. Let's go on more. Throughout his career, he championed the issue of integrity in the real estate industry and in business in general. To this end, he contributed an endowment funds to Harvard Business School, Columbia Law School, and NYU Real Estate Institute for the teaching of business and legal ethics. He was a senior member of Apple Corps Partners, an initiative started by the members of Harvard Business School class 1963 to improve public education in the United States. He served on the board of directors for the Hospital of Joint Diseases Orthopedic Institute. So his dad, it goes on and on and on. His dad, he won the Henry Hart Rice Most Ingenious Deal of the Year Award in 1999. So Bill Ackman comes from a wealthy, well-to-do family, and Bill didn't work for shit. Let's go to part 3, Corey. These are the people who are driving this bus. These are the people telling you that you don't deserve to have affordable rent. These are the people telling you that you need to support Israel at all costs. And when we see what Elon Musk is talking about with AI and the jobs and the work, we can also just take a quick look at what happened just recently with this situation. Check this out.
Local founders. One of them, CEO Mike Cannon-Brookes, broke the news to his staff today in a pre-recorded video message. As The Australian reported, Cannon-Brookes appeared in a hoodie from his home office, springing the news on 150 staff that they would be laid off and replaced in large measure with artificial intelligence. Yet the AI-related job losses are in customer services, with Cannon-Brookes saying customer complaints in future would likely be handled largely through AI.
There's an example right there. Billionaire tech CEO replaces 150 workers with AI. So that's not in the future. That just happened. Now, we continue on to see the connection here with Israel, because we're still on Bill Ackman. When we look at Israel, did you know this? In 2024, Israel became a global leader in applied AI innovation. 2024, Israel. This is from Forbes magazine. There's a picture here of Sam Altman. He's another one who wants to push this lifestyle. Israel's AI startup activity is 2 to 4 times greater than that observed in the US or Europe, highlighting the unparalleled density of its AI sector. AI startups constitute 30% of Israel's tech landscape, accounting for up to 40% of funds funding rounds and securing 47% of total investments. So you see, when we look at everything and we put it all together, it's just interesting that the same billionaires that happen to be pro-Israel just seem to support the advancement of AI and replacing these workers. These are the billionaires that are driving the bus, and someone tried to warn people about it. Remember the young man who was the whistleblower who came out and said, I need to speak out about what's happening with open AI? Remember that young man? This young man, his name was Suchir Balaji. His parents sued the apartment complex over the death of OpenAI whistleblower. Does everybody remember this gentleman? Right? So I told you back then, I think that this was foul play. They said there was no sign of foul play. By they, I mean the authorities. They said there wasn't any foul play that happened there. This gentleman, Suchir, came out as a whistleblower to the New York Times and talked about what was happening with AI. Now, this gentleman was then later on found dead in his apartment in San Francisco. Young kid, young guy. The parents, I believe they spoke to James Lee as well. They said their son was a happy guy. So these are scary people. These are scary things. His parents emphasized his whistleblowing activities in their lawsuit, saying that Suchir Balaji's work as an AI researcher included whistleblowing activities concerning misconduct at OpenAI in the 6 months preceding his homicide in November 2024, giving rise to a plausible motive for foul play and further heightening the defendant's duty to preserve evidence. They also claimed the apartment complex owners and management were involved in evidence tampering and obstruction. There was this part here as well. Defendants produced only 2 days of video. The footage from November 18th to the 21st provided includes an elevator recording at 7:30 p.m. on November 22nd, showing Suchir retrieving a DoorDash order. This conflicts with the plaintiff's phone call with him, 7:12 to 7:30, strongly suggesting timestamp manipulation. So does everybody remember this kid, Suchir? The parents assert that the apartment manager was fired right after showing the CCTV footage to them, suggesting that the property management may have been trying to retaliate or cover something up. This is Bill Ackman's world. This is Sam Altman's world. And this young man was trying to warn people about what was to come and why he wanted out. And then he died. The elites, it's not uncommon for them to use both parties at their disposal to get their mission accomplished. Bill Ackman donates to both. Oligarchs in the Trump administration, Bill Ackman. And I'll show you who he donated to. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Bill Ackman publicly backed Donald Trump and the Republican Party in the 2024 election cycle. He donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to Republican-aligned PACs in the general election after backing Dean Phillips in the Democratic primary. He also backed Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy in the Republican primary, and then later RFK Jr.'s run as an independent. So these people like Bill Ackman, these billionaires, Donald Trump, billionaire too, they are driving the bus. They're on board with advancing AI. We know Bill Ackman is. He bought AI stocks. He's ready. And Elon Musk is getting that message out there to people. But Elon, he supports some of this too. They don't want to be dependent on us to do the work. They know that workers are getting angry. So they're like, how many jobs can we replace with AI? They replace the jobs. They replace the source of information, because if there's no apps, who decides what AI is going to tell you? And then you have a society of zombie people walking around with information that has been chosen and selected by the billionaire class, and they get to rewrite history and tell you what they want you to know or believe or think. These are dangerous people. Sam Altman, Bill Ackman, these people are dangerous. And it doesn't matter what party you belong to. If you're a worker, you're going to be impacted. I want everyone to remember this, because at some point or another, it could be you or it could be your kids that are depending on that assistance from the government when your job is gone. Now, we have been watching over the past couple of weeks, Microsoft laying off people. Amazon just announced they're laying off thousands of people. Like, they have found ways to replace these jobs. The days of telling people just graduate from high school and just do well and get a good job and just work your way up may not always be the case. I can't go to the McDonald's down the street. Not that you should. The fries suck. McDonald's food ain't been hitting in years. But you can't go to the McDonald's down the street without seeing a self-checkout. It's been coming. It's just only a matter of time. And all the people that have been able to get us to turn on each other, your neighbors and everything, they're just going to sit back and laugh. Bill Ackman was laughing. They're laughing. Donald Trump's laughing. They're like, they think there's a difference. They're at the top. We're at the bottom. And I sincerely hope it's only a matter of time that more people start to realize that. We're at the top. We're at the bottom. They're at the top. We are not driving this bus. But there are more of us on the bus than there are of them. So if all of us came together on that bus, we could drive the bus. But as long as they keep you divided, you're a Republican over there, you're a Democrat, you sit over there. As long as they keep you focusing on red team, blue team, we will never come together. We will never drive that bus. And we'll just go in a loop as passengers. These are not good people, guys. They're not good people. Don't let them fool you. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.